I'm a big stand-up comedy fan, and one of the biggest stand-up comics today is Shane Gillis. No matter who you are on this planet, I don't care if you were born and live underneath a rock with your family and haven't seen the outside world in forever. No matter what, you know of Shane Gillis. Shane Gillis is the most popular comedian on the planet. He's the most popular stand-up comic on the planet. Shane Gillis he's everywhere. You cannot miss him, whether it's on TV, whether it's on sports broadcasting, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on, he's everywhere. And at the moment, he's currently the talk of the town because he was the host of this year's ESPY Awards on ESPN+. The ESPYs is an award show for ESPN, I guess. The ESPYs has been around for a while, I believe. I just have never actually sat down to watch it because I don't care at all. Now, I did end up watching Shane Gillis's 10-minute ESPYs monologue before I ended up seeing it in the popular debate over it on social media. I was just scrolling on Instagram, and then his whole monologue popped up right there, or it was TikTok or Twitter, or whatever it is, and I watched it. And when I watched it, my immediate impression of it was, this is incredibly funny. This is exactly up Shane Gillis. But one thing that was incredibly noticeable is that the crowd did not take too lightly to Shane Gillis's comments, jokes, and I guess overall being there in general, and Shane himself has made several comments of this during his set. Me being the detective Sherlock Holmes that I am, I went on the famous world of X/Twitter. X is still a stupid name. It should just go back to Twitter. It's always going to be Twitter. No matter how much money Elon Musk wants to throw at it and try and stick a computer chip inside of my inner ear to convince me it's X, it's never going to happen. I'm not going to let that happen. It is 100% Twitter. It will be Twitter until the day I die, and you cannot change that, ever. Sorry, Elon. Leave a comment, but also send me one of those Teslas. I know, like, there's a political thing with Teslas right now, but, like, I can't afford one, so I would like one. Anyways, the internet and social media has actually really loved this monologue and is laughing at it. It's kind of jokes at the audience's expense, which is exactly what Shane did in this stand-up. It reminds me a lot when Ricky Gervais hosted what did he host? I believe it was the Oscars. It could have been the Golden Globes or the Oscars, but whatever it was, the one that Ricky Gervais famously hosted, where he is literally destroying everybody in that crowd. Destroying is harsh, like not coming at them for like personal, but is making fun of them, and it went super mega viral because the crowd didn't seem to take too kindly, and it exploded. It was highly popular all over the world, all over social media. Watched it. I've watched it 100 times. I think it's funny every time I watch it. And this kind of had that exact same vibe. Maybe it's a little different because Ricky Gervais is a celebrity in his own right, and surrounded in the Oscars are celebrities and actors. But it, I guess maybe it's got like that element of Ricky Gervais is obviously not to the level of celebrity that Tom Hanks is, and Tom Hanks the entire time in that, that scene seemed to not be too stoked with anything that Ricky Gervais was saying. And I think that Ricky Gervais probably fits into a celebrity crowd a little better than Shane Gillis sits in the sports ESPN broadcasting world element. Whenever you literally look up Shane Gillis at the every major article and publication is saying that he flopped and it did terrible, and are kind of like attacking Shane's set by being tone deaf and not understanding and like taking the audience perception in the crowd as the be-all facto whatever it is. Whoopi Goldberg even made a statement, I believe it was her, when I read an article about it. It could have been her, or they could have been addressing somebody else. Whoopi Goldberg said that the people who are there to listen to this thing are there to get awards. They're not there for jokes. But the jokes were funny, and they were 10 minutes long, and every single award show on the planet, puts in sort of entertainment-esque, so it's actually worth watching. The Grammys are incredibly insufferable as it is, but if the Grammys didn't have a host that was a comedian of some kind and didn't have concerts and performances at the Grammys, who the fuck would watch the Grammys? The answer, and this may not surprise you, is nobody. Nobody would give a shit. Shane in his monologue, they're friendly, light jabs. Maybe people like Shedeur Sanders weren't going to be too stoked about it whenever he came at them and attacked his career. But prove him wrong. It's not that deep. Is it false? No, they retired his number whenever he really wasn't that great of a player in college. I think Shedeur Sanders actually does have the potential to have a really great NFL career. I think he's not as bad as people say. Do I think it was rightfully so that he dropped in the draft class as far as he did? Based on his player ability? Probably not. That's not the only thing that you can assert a player for or assess a player for. I know it's been a while since we talked about sports and football on the channel, but that is the truth. Was Deion Sanders retiring Shedeur Sanders's, number at Colorado a hint of nepotism? Absolutely. Is it allowed to be? Sure, he's the fucking coach. Nobody cares. It's a light jab. Why are people in the crowd taking it so seriously? Hey, we're in the bedroom because my mic died halfway through recording, and I realized that during editing, so motherfuck me, I guess, right? Anyway, Shane Gillis's performance at the ESPYs, getting attacked as much as it is by the grander, more popular state of the media when it comes to, I don't know. I don't want to get too stupid political in here. That's not what this channel is about. That's not what I want to do at all. But it seems to be a common thread whenever comedians that are popular in a social media stand-ins with the more generic casual audience, whenever they do these hosting appearances, there seems to be an always massive issue with it. Maybe because they're a little more aggressive against the audience that are mostly made up about a certain class of celebrity. Sure. Maybe because, as people keep saying on social media, that the sets are usually designed for the audience at home, not the audience in the crowd. Sure. But I think I'm a little afraid that it's speaking more to comedy itself, that people are taking themselves too seriously, especially whenever they get to a certain level of celebrity class. Now, obviously, I'm not even remotely close in that celebrity class, so what the fuck do I know at all? But I think comedy is supposed to be not that serious. I think that you should be able to talk about any sort of common topic or situation or scenario, depending on its relevancy and impact. A really great example is Chris Rock, who was killing it before Will Smith, for some reason, walked on the stage and assaulted him. The joke that Chris Rock made was about Jada Smith's hair. If he really wanted to go serious and be personal, he could have made a joke about her banging her son's friend. But he didn't do that. And Shane didn't do that. And Ricky Gervais didn't do that. I guess, the darkest jokes they made were, Shane made, an OJ Simpson and an Epstein joke. It's dark humor. It's supposed to be funny. And I know that everybody in that crowd thought it was funny. And for some reason, they didn't laugh. Maybe because they're afraid because of their celebrity, prowess or whatever it is. But I think it's kind of weird. And that's all I want to comment about. I don't know. Let me know what you think about this whole situation in the comments below. Let me know. A lot of people always say that I look like Shane Gillis in the comments. I think that's just because we're two big white guys with really shitty facial hair. To each their own, I guess. Leave a comment. I want to know everybody's opinions on this. Are you worried about this at all? I don't really think there's anything to be worried about, but I think that people are taking themselves too seriously, potentially. And subscribe. It would be really great and would mean a lot for us. So that's all I got. Anyways, peace, love, adios, and goodbye.